Hello and welcome to What Map, the map review show for Cities Skylines. There are tens of thousands of maps in the workshop now, and so finding the right one for your next build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review one, using our 5-star rating for aesthetics, detail and gameplay potential, awarding only the very best the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Friday's What Map. BonBon here. Now we've had an iffy week for maps this week, so let's try and have a slightly better one today, shall we? Although it does have its flaws. It's Flat Oaks by Skignovilous. Now Skig is a great fan of the show, and I'm sure that you're watching along with this one, hoping that I don't... You're worried already, aren't you? Resources painted, obviously, fair enough. Yeah, you're worried already, but don't be. It's a very nice map, okay? Trees required, a few of them, network extensions to New Caledonia concrete theme, and it's based on the area of Naples in Florida, because the Americans can't come up with their own names. I mean, come on, you've got a perfectly good set of native languages. I mean, literally native languages, okay? And you are still stealing names from Europe. Why is this? Why? Just to confuse us Europeans. I mean, I'm thinking back to about episode 12 where I did Dutch Harbour, and I complained it didn't look much like Holland at all. I mean, it was mountainous, for goodness sake. And it turned out it was Alaska. Alaska. Right. Dutch Harbour, Alaska. No wonder I was confused. Intersection time. Now, very American. Huge. Massively beautifully decorated. Highways go in every direction. Everything's very straight. Very American. Very American. Very nice, okay? I like that. Never let it not be said, I like that. If every map had one of those in it, it would not be a bad thing. Then anyway, we come down here, the roads split, and then they come back together. Now, when they're closer together, they're probably a little bit too close together, or not close enough, because there is this glitching going down the middle there. And then we've got, pretty much the same intersection. Slightly differently decorated. Does the map need two of them? Well, apparently Naples does. Where were we? Yes, and this goes off towards the fog. But yeah, these roads, they're a bit too close together, causing that slight glitching all the way. Either push them a little bit closer together, or drift them apart a little bit. Let's go down here. This looks like a possible start square, don't you think? Maybe? Because it seems to be dead ending down here, so start square. Yes. And no water. Well, that's no good then. Okay, well, we're not going to use that as a start square. I'm sure there's another route. Should we go down here? Farming. Lots of water down in the farm area, isn't it? It's got to be lush and green, and nice intersection, by the way. Have you noticed, though, that this highway, it's all one way? I was expecting this to be a national road, but it's all going from one side of the map to the other. Now, that for me is interesting. So we've kind of got 3 highway entrances, although it looks like there are 4. What if any of this traffic wanted to go back the other way? I mean, clearly it doesn't. And we would have to go down. This would be a shortcut down there. Down there? Ooh, look. Nice intersection. Anyway, this follows off, and this follows the edge. It marks the edge of the farmland. It's a nice little boundary. And it's, I must say it's very pretty. Very aesthetically pleasing, but what have we got? Yeah, one way. Very strange. Anyway, we'll follow this down. We know this intersection. We've seen this already, so we'll just flippity over it. We might have a little glance at the rocks we go past. Very nice. And then down here under the railway bridge, which is perfectly fine, and down to a roundabout. Ooh, this is interesting. Why have we got a roundabout? Well, this is more likely to start square. If we go this way, maybe we'll find some water. Maybe, baby. Possibly. And here. Look. There it is. There's your pond. That's okay. That's alright. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail later. Just a little bit more detail. Now the rail. Oh, the rail. One or two minor problems with overhanging trees on the rail. It's kind of to be expected with the trees getting this close. Not that one so much. Now let's have a look at this bridge. Now, once again, this is nice, okay? It's nice and smooth and gentle, and certainly within the tolerance for the game. It's not strictly super realistic, and those that want to do a super realistic build will be a bit disappointed by that. But it's still way better than the average, and if every rail line and every bridge was at that level, at that sort of slope, I'd be very happy. No marking it down for that. And here again, same again. It's within the game. That is fine. Okay. Very, very happy. Right, where were we? Yes, we're somewhere along here. We had some overhanging trees. I'm sure we'll find it in a second. I'm sure we'll find them in a moment. Is this it? This is the fella. Look, there you go. Hanging through the electric wires. It's not the first. I'm sure we skipped over one already on the quick flyby. There'll be another along in a minute, maybe, possibly. And then down here, this goes off to the fog straight up. So I think we'll take a left. We'll follow a different route. And here, there's one overhanging the line there. That one. Oh, that one's okay. That one's safe. This looks bad though, doesn't it? Look at this one. Look at that. Once again, almost hanging through both lines. I mean, to be fair, it's not growing out the rail, but they are interfering with the overhead cables. And although it doesn't actually affect the game in any way at all, if you're being a complete anal perfectionist, anybody know anybody like that? Let's not talk about that, shall we? Then you're just gonna, you'll see these things, and you'll instantly knock people a star on the head for them. Are you seeing stars? Okay, asset review time. Now this one's a small one. Okay, it's very small. It's the Pentagon by Server, and you have to be British to understand that reference, by the way. Server. Now this one, it's I do believe it's a very small governmental building in America somewhere, and I'm very pleased to see it. It's got a lot of footpaths running through it, because the Pentagon's one of the most efficient buildings in the world. You can walk from one point to the other in a matter of minutes. So footpaths everywhere. That's good work. What you don't see is good work. You have to subscribe to a few mods and things to make this work, but it's very, very, very nicely done indeed. The Pentagon by Server. Today's asset of the day. And back to Flat Oaks. Shipping routes. Oh, lots of them. Okay, lots of them. Possibly even too convoluted. Possibly, considering it's one flat coastline. You could just done one straight line, two straight lines running across it. Anyway, water flow. There isn't any out here. It's pretty static. Oh, a little bit there. Pretty static though. Here though is a stream. It does go off the edge of the map. I'm not going to turn the clouds off just to show you that. It does leave the map. I know some don't. And we have some water flow here, by the way, which is good. It's going to somewhere for your sewage to go, and it all stems from this water source here. But this is also where you're going to draw your water from. So that is going to be a problem. You're going to be drawing an awful lot of water out that pond and putting the sewage back into it, especially as that's the start square. A little bit tricky. And that is the only moving water, really. So the pictures are very nice with this this theme, by the way. And then back out here, just have a look at the detailing now. Look at the detailing. Ooh. Nice riverbanks. Nice detailing. Nice water foam. Very, very, very nice. But yes, the whole map's very, very flat, so you can build huge city. But of course, the bigger you get, the more sewage you're going to produce, and this is pretty much the only place you're going to be able to put it, down this little river here. Admittedly, as your city gets bigger, you'll be able to draw water actually from the coastline instead. So that's that won't be so much of a problem. But certainly when you get started and you're drawing water from there and pumping sewage down it as well, that could become a little bit of a problem. Right. What else we got? Well, build plane, loads of it. No problem. I know some of you like to have barriers and mountains and hills and curvature and coastlines and stuff, just to force your city to be a different shape. But certainly if you want to build a big city, oh, hang on. These farmlands, these country roads are footpaths. And I understand why it's been done. It just looks a bit odd to me, I'm afraid. Just a bit odd. The farmland, there's some terraforming going on here, some minor hills and stuff. It's quite pleasing, actually. Just minor stuff. But once again, the whole map as a whole, very flat. Yeah, this highway, all one way. That's a bit of a holdback, I've got to say. A little bit of a holdback. Just checking out some of the detailing of the intersections again. The glitchiness down the middle of the roads. Extra detailing on the access to that intersection there with those trees. It's quite nice. Like I say, it's a better map than we've seen for a few days. Aesthetically, I like this, okay? I'd like it not to be so flat, but it's still way better than an average, so it's definitely getting 4 stars. Detailing, also way better than the average, although it doesn't go the extra mile, and for that, it's getting 4 stars as well. Gameplay potential, this is where I'm going to have to shoot it a little bit. I think it's definitely worth 4 stars, but the water flow could be an issue. Plus, that highway, which is running one way only, 2 lanes, that's going to cause, well, some minor problems that need to be fixed as well. So I'm going to give that 3 stars for gameplay potential, and I can't give it a seal of approval. Just my main concern is that water. Flat Oak, Skignovilous. I nearly couldn't speak then. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing, and joining me on Patreon to just keep up with the latest news and things like that. And I will catch you again tomorrow for our final what map of the week. I'm forgetting how to speak now. And our quirky asset of the day. And it's worth checking tomorrow's, I promise.